Yo, what is up, everyone? So, what happens when the person who built your Power BI semantic model isn't available? Maybe they're on vacation. Maybe they've moved to another team. Or maybe they built this 6 months ago and even they don't remember every decision they made. Because let's be honest, we've all opened something before and thought, why did I do that? But now, Copilot is showing up somewhere really interesting, not just in reports, not just where people consume data, where the business logic actually lives, the semantic model. So instead of another Copilot feature walkthrough, I want to show you a real world scenario. Meet Sarah. Sarah is part of our team, and today she gets a message from Alex. Hey, Patrick's out. Leadership has been investing more into direct bookings instead of relying on third-party channels. They want to understand if that strategy is actually working, and they need the executive dashboard updated. Sounds simple, but guess what? There's a few challenges ahead. Here's the North Star Executive Performance Report. At first glance, everything looks good. It's got everything: revenue, bookings, occupancy, guest insight, everything leadership needs to make decisions. But here's the challenge. Sarah didn't build this report. More importantly, she didn't build the semantic model behind it. So before adding anything new, she needs to understand what exactly exists. And here's the model. Notice I'm working directly in a web browser, and that's important. Take a look at the model. It isn't a bad model. Actually, this is what we want to see. Tables are organized, measures exist, relationships are created, business logic has already been defined. But even with a good model, you still need context. Normally, Sarah would probably ask the person who built it, but today, Patrick's not available. So let's ask Copilot. The first thing we're not going to do is create DAX. And honestly, this is where I think a lot of people start in the wrong place. Before creating something new, understand what's there already. Let's ask Copilot to explain how revenue is calculated and which measures are important. And look at that. Copilot isn't guessing. It's using the semantic model. It found our revenue measures. It understands how total revenue is calculated. It understands metrics like average daily rate, ADR, and RevPAR, revenue generated per available room. Now Sarah has context. She understands the model before making any changes to the model. But understanding calculations is only part of maintaining a semantic model. Let's look at the measures. Some are documented, some aren't. And if you've worked with Power BI long enough, like this guy, you know exactly how this happens. You create a measure, you build a report, everything works. Then 6 months later, somebody asks, hey, Patrick, what does that actually mean? So instead of trying to jog your memory, let's ask Copilot to find measures that are missing descriptions and recommend descriptions based on the DAX and the model context. And this is where it starts to feel different. Copilot understands the calculations, it understands the relationships, it understands the context. It's not just explaining DAX syntax, it's helping capture business meaning. And that's important because documentation usually doesn't disappear because people don't care. It disappears because people run out of time, or they're just lazy and they don't write the documentation. But let's get back to Sarah's original request. Leadership wants to understand how much revenue is coming directly through our channels instead of our third parties. The first question shouldn't be, how do I write the DAX? The first question should be, can this semantic model already answer that question? And this is the part I really like. Copilot isn't jumping straight into creating something. It's helping Sarah understand where's the data, where's the relationships, what measures should be reused. Now she knows the model supports the request. We just need to extend it a bit. We need to create something. And look what happened. Copilot created the measures, but notice something else. It didn't just stop at DAX. It included descriptions. It recommended formatting. It's creating something much closer to what we would expect in a production semantic model. But this next part is really important. We still review everything. Does it reuse our existing total revenue measure? Does the filter logic make sense? Does it match the business request? Copilot helps us move so much faster, but we're still the pilots. We still own the model. Now, before Sarah goes back to the report, let's leave the model better than we found it. Earlier, we found a couple of measures that were missing descriptions. Copilot helped create those descriptions. So let's finish the cleanup. We'll add those descriptions, move the measures into the correct folders, and now the next person who opens the model has more context than Sarah did when she started. And that's the goal. Not just creating more measures, creating a better semantic model. Now, Sarah returns to the executive reports, adds the new measure, direct booking, revenue percentage, and now leadership can see exactly what they asked for. The dashboard is updated, the model is documented, and Sarah did all of that without needing to find the person who originally built it. To wrap this up, this is why I think Copilot in semantic modeling is interesting. Yes, it can write DAX, and that's useful, but I actually don't think that's the biggest story. The bigger story is understanding that every semantic model contains knowledge, business rules, definitions, decisions, things that usually live with the person who created it. But what happens when that person isn't available? Copilot doesn't replace that person, but it can shorten the distance between, I have no idea how this works, and I understand it enough to make the right change. All right, so you have any questions, comments, you know what to do. Post it in the comments below. If you want to learn more about Power BI, Fabric, Copilot, AI, architecture, SQL Server, there's a video somewhere on my left. Am I right? And as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the queue.